Okay. Let's pause the recording. Stay connected with our members, even though it seems like we're miles apart, right?
No.
Let's hope I don't do that during class. It just seems like it's been forever, doesn't it? Feel like this quarantine has gone on for so long.
So long. Too long.
I think we will all be glad when we can regain some sort of normalcy. I don't think it's going to be the normal that we're used to, but at this point, I think we would all kind of take anything over what we're dealing with.
Oh yeah. Absolutely. Okay.
There we go.
Okay, I'm gonna mute it.
All right. It is just about that time, so we're going to get started. Hello, hello. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bryn and I am a instructor at the South Lake YMCA. I teach spin classes as well as a few yoga classes. This is my all-time favorite yoga class to teach. It's called Restorative Yoga. So before we get started, I just need to explain kind of the basics of restorative yoga because it is a little bit different than regular yoga. So coming into it with like a regular yoga mindset may kind of throw you off a little bit. So basically, restorative yoga is a very restful yoga. It's very peaceful. It should put you into almost a sleep-like state, just like ready to just relax, right? So that's why we usually do restorative yoga near the end of the evening, because it's that signal for the brain to be like, okay, we can wind down now. So you'll notice around me, I have all these things, right? So in restorative yoga, we use a ton of props. Anytime we go into an asana or a pose or a posture, we are going to be heavily bolstered, heavily supported. So the underlying message in restorative yoga is we want to get out of the physical body. So physical body meaning when you're in a regular yoga pose, you're going to feel your muscles engage and you're going to feel muscles lengthening and stretching and supporting you. In restorative yoga, we kind of want to take the emphasis off the physical body. So when you go into a pose, you want to be incredibly, incredibly comfortable and create that support system with all of your things. So if you are doing this, if you're participating at home, or even if you're watching this later on and you're choosing to participate, before we get started, just reach around you. Just go around your house, grab a few items that are going to be your blocks and bolsters today. If you are a yogi and you have all the yogi things, fantastic. We will need a regular yoga bolster. We'll need our yoga blankets. If you don't have these things, who cares? Any blanket is going to do, because we're going to roll this up and we're going to use this as support throughout our practice today. These are like couch cushions, right? Like couch pillows, throw pillows. These work great to create a bolster or a support system. And in today's practice, I'm asking everybody to either have a chair. So I'm just going to use one of our stools here. Only because it doesn't have a back on it, and then you guys are still going to be able to see what I'm doing. I'm afraid the back's going to get in the way at some point. It may not, but whatever. So if you're near a couch, you can use the couch to put your feet up on when we get to that point. A chair would be better just for one of the poses. So if you have a chair handy, pull it in so that it's close by. So bolsters, blocks, blankets, chairs, mats. I mean, you just surround yourself with comfort during this entire practice. So as we go into these poses, we are going to be holding the poses from anywhere from like 3 to 6 minutes. So if at any point you start to feel that it's uncomfortable, if you feel that there's too much stretch or there's too much compression or there's too much of anything, then you can make whatever adjustments that you need to make yourself comfortable. You want to be comfortable in these poses. I know in all the other yoga, we want to push you out of your comfort zone a little bit into that stretch or whatever, just the opposite. So forget everything you know about yoga, and this is restful yoga. We want you to be restored when you're done with this class. So again, I will cue you. I want you to pay attention to your breath body. Pay attention to your energetic body. Try, I know we all have things to do. I know we have little ones at home. I know we've got e-learning going on. I know we've got this virus that's always on the forefront of our brain. We've got dinner to cook. We've got this to do. Just do yourself a favor. And if you can, allow yourself to be in this space with this practice just for this hour, or even come back and revisit it, you know, when you can. But just to be in this space and to kind of let your brain take that mental break, just to allow yourself to focus on your breath and the emotional body and the release. And by the end of this, hopefully you feel like a brand new person. So again, my name is Bryn. I'm so excited to be here today. I'm so excited that you guys are taking advantage of our classes here at the on the CRYMCA website. The virtual classes, we are all brand new to it, so thank you for learning with us. That has meant the world to us because this is literally all brand new to us. Most of us don't have much experience at all with this, so this is an adventure in itself. And with that, let's do some restorative yoga. So just like in regular yoga, we're going to start in a shavasana, but it's going to be a supported shavasana. So if I can ask you to just take one of those blankets that I asked you to have handy. Just take one of those blankets. I'm just going to use this just a regular yoga blanket. I'm going to lay it out in front of me, and I'm just going to start to roll up my blanket. Just to create a very soft, very small bolster. I'm going to use my regular yoga bolster because I have it here. If you don't have a regular yoga bolster, you can either use another blanket that's been rolled up and you can place it under your knees, or you can use your couch cushion, your throw pillows, even a bigger couch cushion to, provide a little bit of support under the knees. We are going to take our bolster, our blanket bolster, and we're going to place it kind of like at the small of the back. So as you start to lower yourself down into Shavasana, your knees will be just slightly elevated. And you're going to have a blanket here providing a little bit of support under the arch of the back. If you lay back and you're like, oh, that's too much, ta-da, it's just a blanket, right? So unroll it a smidge and see how that works for you. You want this to be comfortable. This is your starting position. This is where we're going to begin our practice today. Oh, also, once we get into these postures, you're going to notice that there's not a lot of talking. I know it's hard to believe because I just did so much talking. Once we get into the postures, this is more of an experiential yoga. So once you get comfortable, I'm not going to do a lot of talking because I want you to just relax. So if you need to check your screen every once in a while, make sure I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. I just need for you to know that's what you can expect, a little bit of silence. So getting that blanket situated to the height and width, the position that you need it to be, rolling back onto it. And now allowing your arms to go wide. Tucking your shoulder blades together just a little bit. Oh. Tucking your chin in just slightly towards your chest. It's going to create a long neutral spine. Rolling your palms to face up, creating space across the chest. And allowing yourself to surrender all the weight of your body over to the floor. Now, as you settle in to this Shavasana posture, I would like for you to pay attention to your navel center, your belly. And with every inhale, feeling that belly rise, as you draw that breath in past the chest, past the ribs, and all the way down, expanding the belly, and noticing how the belly falls with every exhale. Intentionally adding length to the inhale and length to the exhale. Keeping that breath long and smooth and even. We're going to take one more breath here. Drawing that breath in slowly for the inhale. Slow on the exhale. And then we're just going to pick our feet up and just kind of push that bolster or those pillows or whatever you have supporting your knees away, just enough so that you can draw your heels in so that your feet are flat on the mat. Knees pointing up towards the ceiling. Dragging your feet down into the mat, lifting your bottom up, sliding that blanket out. Ooh, unless you're laying all the way on it like I am. And we're going to slide it up because we're going to use it as a neck support in the next posture. So you're going to want to have it up near your neck. We're going to move that bolster, or for this one, for the sake of demonstration, we're going to have our couch cushions or pillows or whatever right here on the left side of our body. We're going to position that blanket under our neck at whatever height is most comfortable for you. So you may need to unroll it a little bit, or if you had it unrolled slightly, you may want to roll it up a little bit more, just to create enough support on the neck. So as we roll to our side, we're going to place the pillows or cushions right here, kind of right between the knees and the belly. And we're going to roll to our left side starting off. So we can draw our right knee up and rest it just on those pillows for a side lying shavasana. So the right knee is up, resting on the pillows. The left leg is stretched out long on the mat. And we're going to extend this left arm out in front of us so the palm is facing up. And then you can adjust your neck pillow to whatever height or whatever position is most comfortable for you. I always like to move mine in just a little bit so that my face is kind of hanging off the end. I don't like the feeling of my breath up against the blanket. So I always just kind of move to the end of my blanket. Now my right hand is just going to kind of rest right here, palm flat on the floor. Left arm extended. Oh, I'm going to let my eyes drift closed, and I'm going to draw that breath deep into my belly as I relax into side lying shavasana. On your next exhale, you're just going to draw that knee back in, sliding that right leg down to meet the left. Taking a breath here. We're going to press ourselves up just enough to push that neck support pillow away. And we're going to use our couch cushions or bolsters or whatever down by our feet. As we roll onto our belly into supported sleeping crocodile. So our feet are going to be kind of resting over the pillows here. So we're going to be using the pillows as an ankle support. So this should create just a little bit of softness in the low back. And we're going to stack our forearms. So whichever one is more comfortable for you to be on top, we're going to lay one forearm down and then the other. And we're going to allow our forehead to come down and rest on our forearms. Now, as we begin to settle into sleeping crocodile, make sure that you're not holding too much tension in like the neck and shoulders. So if you have your arms tucked in too close to the body, you'll notice that my shoulders are way up here and my neck is kind of extending down to try to rest on my forearms. If I stretch my forearms, or if I stretch my arms out just a little bit further away from the body, my forehead is going to rest much more comfortably on my forearms. The other thing I want you to pay attention to in sleeping crocodile is the compression on your belly. So this works as kind of a reminder. With every inhale, you want to feel that compression. So you want to feel your belly pressing into the floor with every inhale, and kind of a release of that pressure with every single exhale. So drawing the breath into the belly, nice and slow, even exchange with the inhale and the exhale the whole time we're in this pose. on your next inhale, lifting your head slowly. Come into your elbows just to take a breath. Taking in a little light from the room. And then we're going to use our feet to just push the cushions or pillows, whatever you're using, off to the side. And keep them handy because you might need it for this next one and you might not, completely depending on your level of flexibility or what you're most comfortable with. So we're going to go into the supported half frog. So we're going to return to the position where our head is resting on our forearms, but we're going to draw our right leg out to the side. Here we go. We're going to draw our right knee up so that it's straight out from the body. And then we're going to push this leg out so that that foot is directly down below the knee. So what I mean by that is I don't want it in here like this. That would be prone facing fallen tree. And this is the frog pose. So as you start to lower your head back down onto your forearms, if you start to feel like that's too much of a stretch in through the groin, you can take one of those cushions or both, whatever you need. And instead of placing it under the knee, we're going to kind of jam it in so that it's really supportive of the inner thigh from the hip down through the thigh. So the knee will still be resting on the floor, the lower leg straight down with the foot resting on the floor. The inside of that right ankle will be resting on the floor as well, like a little froggy foot. And then we're going to have our forearms stacked with our forehead resting back on our forearms. That breath is still a reminder to draw that breath deep into the belly, creating that compression, bringing out those internal organs. On your next inhale, lifting your head up slowly, drawing that right leg back in and down to meet that left leg. And if you use a cushion on this side, let's switch it over to the left side so that in case you need it, it's there. So we're just gonna mimic this position, the exact same posture that we just did on the left side now. So drawing that left leg up, checking in with that knee, making sure that it's straight out from the body, checking in with that foot, making sure that it's directly down below the knee and not tucked in close to the body. And then stacking one forearm. This time switch your forearm. So if you had left on top of right, let's switch it up. So now we're doing right on top of left. And if that proves to be uncomfortable, go back to whatever's most comfortable. But let's just try to switch it up on this one. As you start to lower your head down onto your forearms, you'll know. So you can decide then if you need to use that cushion or that support underneath that left hip like you did if you needed it on the right. Or this side may feel looser. Yoga system always reminds us that symmetry and balance is kind of a myth. So one side may feel super tight or almost uncomfortable, and the other side, it might be easy peasy. So listen to your body, take those cues, listen to what your body is trying to tell you. So lowering your head down onto your forearms and creating that long, deep, smooth breath. Taking one more breath here. And then sliding that left leg down to meet the right. Pushing that cushion out of the way. You're going to stay exactly where you are. I'm only moving because we're going to do the sideline shavasana on the left side, and I want you to be able to see what I'm doing, even though we already did it. So you should have that rolled up blanket just out of reach. It should be just above your head right now because we kind of pushed it out of the way. So we're going to draw that blanket back down to use as our neck support. As we roll to our right side this time, we're going to gather up our cushions, our pillows, whatever, and we're going to lower ourselves down to create that very comfortable height of our blanket to support our neck, placing our pillows just up against our body at about the waist height, sending the right arm this time out long with the palm facing up, and we're going to draw the left knee up to rest on the pillows. Your left hand can kind of go wherever. Mine always just finds its way to the floor, palm facing down. Noticing if you feel that opening in your hip. And with every inhale and exhale, you want to concentrate on relaxing all these muscles. We store so many of our emotions in our hips and in our sockets and in our joints and stuff, but specifically in the hips. So hip openers and releasing the muscles of the hips sometimes can release a little bit of emotion. So just paying attention to the way your body responds to these types of postures. One more breath here. And then drawing that knee in and sending that left leg out long. We're going to move our pillows out of the way and using both hands to press into the mat just to support our low back. We're going to come up to seated. And we're going to create just a little bit of movement in the spine. So coming up to like an easy pose, whatever's most comfortable for you. You can have your ankles stacked one on top of the other if that's comfortable, or you can have one foot out in front of the other, whatever suits you today. So we're going to sit up nice and tall. We're going to create symmetry, so distributing our weight over our sits bones. We're going to roll our shoulders back and down, feeling the shoulder blades kind of slide down the back body with that exhale. We're going to duck our chin just a little bit towards our chest, creating that long neutral spine. Visualizing our spine straight as an arrow, going from the top of our head, straight line all the way down into where our spine meets our yoga mat. Now collectively, we're going to draw in a very deep inhale, filling your belly and dropping your jaw. Open mouth exhale. Ready? Here we go. Drawing in a very deep breath. Drop your jaw, open mouth exhale. One more time. Open mouth exhale. Very good. Just begin to create like a wave, just a little bit of a wave through your spine. Sway back and forth, whatever little micro movements kind of feel good. Loosening up after keeping so much stillness in the body for the last 35 minutes or so. Just creating a little bit of movement, stirring up a little bit of energy. And we're going to go through a few seated cat-cows. So on your next inhale, you're going to drop your chest forward, pushing your shoulders back and lifting your gaze towards your ceiling. You can keep your hands right here on your knees. And on your exhale, you're going to drop your chin to your chest, reversing that arch. So now you're pulling your navel in towards your spine, spreading your shoulder blades wide. Inhale, looking up, lifting your gaze. Exhale, into cat, seated cat. Inhale, into cow. Reverse into cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And then just returning to a neutral position. We're going to take our left hand to the mat, palm facing down, fingertips pointing out, fingertips splayed wide. Inhale, right arm coming up overhead. Exhale, crescent shaped spine to the left, creating an opening between the ribs and the hips, the ribs and the shoulder and the elbow. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, bringing that right arm down, planting that right palm on the mat. Inhale, sending the left arm up. Exhale, crescent-shaped spine to the right. Feeling that opening on the whole side body. Inhale, pressing up. Switching again. Exhale, left hand coming back to the mat. Inhale, right arm coming up. Exhale to the left. Inhale, pressing up. One more switch. Exhale, right arm comes down. Inhale, left arm goes up. Exhale to the right. Inhale, pressing up. Exhale, bringing left arm down, shaking it out, releasing any tension that may have accumulated. This is where we're gonna, for the next two poses, we're gonna need the chair. So if you have a chair, great. If not, you can kind of wedge yourself at the end of your couch, you know, like or ottoman or whatever you have. But a chair, just a simple chair from your dining room, your kitchen table, whatever you have is gonna work best. You may not even need that level of support. So I'm gonna go ahead and tell you what we're gonna be doing, and then you decide what level of support you need to build for yourself today. So we're gonna send our legs out wide. Shake them out, feel that pull in the back of the legs, feel that pull in the hamstrings. But we don't want it to be to the point where it's uncomfortable. So find that sweet spot. You need to work them in just an inch, half an inch, quarter of an inch, just to get to that comfortable, very comfortable stretch. So we're going to do a wide leg supported forward fold. So for some of you who are super limber and flexible and have all the stretch in the world, you can use a simple yoga bolster and come down to rest your forehead on there, right? Others, you can build that support system using bolsters and pillows and blankets and whatever you need to come down and rest your forehead. Or, all my stuff. If you are lacking a lot of flexibility, and a lot of us are, a lot of us do work and spin and all these other crazy classes, and we don't have a lot of flexibility. So I'm going to take this very simple stool. I use it here at the office all the time. I'm going to drape a blanket over it because it's going to create a softer place for me to land. I'm going to stretch my legs and find that position that's most comfortable, and then I'm going to stack my forearms one on top of the other and come down to rest my forehead right here on my forearms. Deciding what level of support you need today. So either using your chair, using your one other option, which I don't know why this option is so popular, but people seem to love it, is you can literally balance, if you have a bolster at home, if you have a yoga bolster at home, you can balance the yoga bolster out in front of you and rest your forehead just like this. So I'm going to turn sideways just so everybody can see exactly what I'm doing. It's nothing fancy, I promise. But I'm going to draw my chair in and place it directly between my legs. And I'm going to rest my forearms one on top of the other, and I'm going to rest my forehead on my forearm. It's a nice, gentle stretch. There's no pain involved. If wherever you're at with this stretch, if you're feeling discomfort and you're hoping to kind of relax into it, I would encourage you to back off just a little bit, reminding yourself this is restorative yoga. We don't want you to feel, that's yin yoga. If you're feeling a stretch and you're kind of working towards that goal, that's yin yoga. And I applaud you for your efforts. But in restorative yoga, we want you to feel restored when you're done, not sore. On your next inhale, lifting your head from your forearms, straightening your back, and just coming back up to seated. We are going to go into our final Shavasana. So if you want to grab socks or another blanket or whatever to cover up with, whatever you need to get the most comfortable, but we will need the chair. So I would like for you to place the chair kind of like where it's at on my mat here, near the end of my mat. Put a blanket over it, just to create kind of a soft, cushy, wonderful place. So how this is going to work is I'm going to get you set up in this final Shavasana, and I'm going to walk you through it, and then I'm going to quietly leave you in this space. So thank you so much for joining us this evening as we transition into this final Shavasana. So grabbing whatever you need to be as comfortable as possible for our last pose today. That means if you would like to have a neck support, blankets, pillows, whatever you want, right? And all we are going to do is begin to lower ourselves down onto our backs. And I'm sure you've all taken a yoga class where you've done legs up the wall. Well, I learned the hard way that a lot of people don't have a lot of open wall space at their house to be able to do that. So this is the restorative version of legs up the wall. So as we begin to lower ourselves down onto our mats, we're just going to swing our legs up and over our chair or stool or whatever we're using, even if it's the end of the couch, that's absolutely fine for this posture. If you would like to have a neck support, you should have cushions and stuff available. So sending your arms wide like airplane wings, allowing your palms to face up. Resting your legs comfortably on that chair. Reversing that blood flow, getting all that extra blood to the brain. We're going to be so smart after this class. We're going to roll our shoulders back and down. We're going to tuck our chin to our chest. We're going to separate our jaw, creating space between our teeth. I'm going to turn off my light. Woo. So you guys can begin to settle in. Allowing your eyes to close if that's comfortable for you. Taking your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. And surrendering all the weight of your body over to the mat beneath you, the floor beneath that, and the earth beneath that. Allowing yourself in this one moment to feel fully supported now. Encouraging your breath to slow down. Drawing in a slow inhale. A slow exhale. And now asking yourself the one question, what brought you to this practice today? What brought you to this space in this time? What was your intention for your practice today? In yoga, this is called the sankalpa. So deciding what your intention or your affirmation is for this practice on this day, at this time. Was it flexibility? Were you looking for peace? And on your next inhale, slowly drawing in a breath and silently saying to yourself, I am. And on your exhale, filling that breath, filling that space with your affirmation, your sankalpa, I am peaceful. I am tranquil, sorry. Whatever your word for today is, whatever comes to mind and seems to suit you best. Filling the inhale and exhale, almost like a promise on the breath going out to the universe. A silent reminder to yourself that you already possess the capability to be what you are seeking. Inhaling, I am. Exhaling, your affirmation. Allowing your mind to stay focused on just this one thought, just for the next few breaths. I am. One more breath with the I am statement. And then allowing that reminder to just kind of slide to the back of your mind, knowing that it's always there. If you need the reminder, you can call on it later today, tomorrow, next week. It'll be there. It's like a seed that's going to take root and grow. Allowing your breathing to just return to normal. And this is where I leave you. So thank you so much for being here today, this evening, or whenever, if you're watching this. From all of us at the YMCA, we are so grateful for all of our members and for all of your participation. And it's so nice to be somewhat connected to you, even if it is from a distance. So thank you for sharing this space and time with me. And I look forward to sharing space and time with you again in the near future. The word namaste means the light in me acknowledges the light in you. And until we meet again, namaste. Sleep well.